So, have you ever stood at a crossroads where everything within you urges you forward, whispering, now you must choose. This is the moment.
Oh, yeah.
You feel that trembling restlessness, that high stakes decision looming when your past experiences offer absolutely no guidance. You're on the edge of what they call a cognitive leap.
It's a profoundly universal human experience, that feeling, that moment when, the outcome is uncertain, the risk feels high, and yet you simply must make a choice.
Right.
We're not talking about your everyday decisions here, like what to have for breakfast. These are those existential jumps that truly test our resolve and, well, reveal who we really are.
Exactly. And today we're taking a deep dive into this intriguing framework from sgl-leadership.com. It offers a fascinating lens to understand how we make these critical choices, especially when the pressure is really on. We're going to introduce you to the idea of decision profiles and explore why gaining self-awareness in these pivotal moments isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential for leadership, for teamwork, everything.
Absolutely. Our mission for you, the listener, is to unpack 3 core secrets to understanding your own natural decision-making style.
Okay.
We'll explore your decision color, your decision axes, and your decision functional role.
Yeah.
And like you said, this isn't just about labeling yourself.
Yeah.
It's about giving you a powerful tool to see yourself and others more clearly, ultimately making you more effective, more collaborative, and frankly, just more confident in those high-stakes moments.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey into decision making. Where did it even start? Because it wasn't just dreamed up in a lab, right?
Not at all. It's actually rooted in a real-world dilemma faced by a major Norwegian oil company operating up in the North Sea. And the story behind it is pretty compelling. What's fascinating here is that the foundation of what SGL calls the decision tree emerged not from, academic research in a vacuum, but from a practical business challenge.
Okay.
The company had enjoyed a hugely successful year, new discoveries, innovative technology, just incredible momentum. Things were looking great.
Right, sounds good so far.
And here's where it gets really interesting. To celebrate all this success, the leadership decided to create a bonus pool. The idea was to reward innovation and bold decision-making.
Makes sense, a good incentive.
Sounds like a great idea, right?
Mm.
But when managers were asked to nominate individuals for this bonus, a really striking and unexpected pattern emerged.
Oh, what happened?
Well, what they found was that most nominees were, shall we say, mirror images of the managers who nominated them.
No way.
Yeah. Leaders were, perhaps unconsciously, using themselves as this sort of unspoken gold standard for what good decision-making looked like.
Ah, the face factor, as they called it.
Exactly. And this led to a very real risk of a culture of clones developing. Imagine the potential for stagnation if everyone thought and decided exactly the same way.
A culture of clones. I like that phrase. And you can just imagine the backlash, or maybe worse, the missed opportunities if they had just kept going down that path.
Totally. So this unexpected challenge actually became the catalyst for the birth of the decision tree. It became this brilliant tool designed not to find the one right way, but to celebrate the range of decision styles.
Yep.
It was about recognizing the strength in diversity, not similarity.
Okay, so what did they find initially?
Well, the initial framework, after a lot of analysis, identified 2 really fundamental decision styles. On one side, you have the quick decision maker,
Okay.
someone who's decisive under pressure, action-oriented, and remarkably comfortable navigating fast-moving or uncertain conditions. They thrive in dynamic environments.
Got it. And the other?
And then you have the thorough decision maker. This person is methodical, cautious, and intensely driven by detail.
Ah, the careful planner.
Precisely. These are the individuals who are absolutely essential for managing long-term risk and ensuring, no stone is left unturned.
Right, and the key insight here was...
The crucial insight, and it's really foundational for the entire framework, is that neither of these styles is inherently superior. One isn't better than the other. They are both vital and, maybe more importantly, complementary. The framework shifted focus from simply rewarding what was familiar or similar to recognizing the inherent situational strength that each style brings.
So sometimes you need speed, other times you need meticulousness.
Exactly. It depends on the context.
So if that North Sea story gave us the fundamental quick versus thorough, SGL then realized, well, human behavior is rarely just black and white, is it?
Not usually, no.
They needed more nuance, and that's where the idea of 4 distinct decision colors came in. These colors aren't just like random labels, right?
Not at all. They're identified by how you answer two specific questions about your decision-making tendencies, particularly under pressure.
Okay, what are the questions?
So the first question SGL asks is, in unfamiliar and uncertain situations, do you tend to make decisions quicker than most people?
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah, and interestingly, only about 4 out of 10 people typically say yes to this one.
Okay, 4 out of 10. And the second question?
The second question is, in unfamiliar and uncertain situations, would you prefer an assistant manager who is quicker or more thorough than yourself?
Ah, so it's about your own speed and what you value and support.
Precisely. Your combined responses to these two questions, a yes or no, to each then reveal your specific decision color.
Okay, let's break them down. Which one should we start with?
Let's delve into each of these 4 detailed profiles. And as we go, think about which one sounds most like you, or perhaps who you recognize in your team. Each brings a truly unique strength.
Got it. Let's go.
First up, if you answered no to the first question, so not quicker than most, and yes to the second, you prefer a quicker assistant manager, you land in the yellow level.
Okay, yellow, what are they like?
These are often described as the loyal consensus-seeking helpers. They are methodical, incredibly cautious, and driven by detail, making them invaluable for de-risking complex projects.
Right, the ones making sure everything's covered.
Exactly. Their superpower is ensuring thoroughness and buy-in. But the insight here is recognizing when that consensus-seeking might tip into analysis paralysis.
Good point.
And knowing when to empower others to make a timely call.
Okay, yellow. Next.
Next, for those who answered no to both questions, so not quicker than most, and you prefer a more thorough assistant, you're in the blue level.
No is blue, and they are.
These are the fact-oriented rational warriors. They are analytical, highly structured, and laser-focused on results, especially in management positions. Their strength is bringing clear logic and objective data to the table.
The logicians.
You got it. However, an insightful takeaway for a blue is maybe to proactively seek out perspectives that challenge the purely rational view. Ensure you don't miss emerging, less tangible opportunities.
Makes sense. Don't get stuck only on the numbers.
Right. Then we move to the yes-yes profile, which is the red level.
Yes to quicker, yes to preferring a quicker assistant.
That's the one. These are your aha-seeking sensing helpers. They are decisive under pressure, action-oriented, and comfortable in fast-moving, even uncertain conditions. They often bring a strong social intuition and energy.
The dynamic movers and shakers?
Kinda, yeah. Red profiles are fantastic at getting things moving, but their shadow side might be overlooking critical details in the rush.
Ah, the need for speed can backfire.
It can. So the insight is perhaps to consciously pair them with a detail-oriented perspective to ensure speed doesn't compromise quality.
Okay, red. And the last one.
And finally, for those who answered yes to the first question, quicker than most, and no to the second, preferring a more thorough assistant, you are the purple level.
Yes, no is purple. What's their style?
These are the independent, fast, intuitive warriors. They prefer simple messages, can be impatient with complexity, focus on few options, and are highly results-oriented, often driven by intuition.
The gut instinct leaders.
You could say that. Purple profiles are brilliant at cutting through noise and seeing the big picture quickly. A key insight for them, though, is maybe to consciously slow down at times.
Why's that?
To ensure critical steps aren't skipped, and maybe to empower their team to fill in the necessary details they might gloss over.
Okay, wow. Yellow, blue, red, purple. So as you hear these descriptions, listener, which color resonates most with your own natural tendencies? Or maybe as you picture your team, who are the blues, the reds, the yellows, and the purples around you?
That self-reflection and that team awareness is really the very first step to leveraging this framework effectively.
Absolutely. But we're going deeper, right? Beyond just the color.
We are. Let's go a layer deeper now into what SGL calls your decision axis specifically, your strength shadow axis.
Strength shadow. Okay.
What's truly fascinating here is the concept that your greatest strengths and your most vulnerable traits are, well, inextricably linked. Think of them as two sides of the same coin. They're shaped by inherent genetic and temperamental factors that we can describe, but not fundamentally change. It's just part of how you're wired.
So it's not about trying to change who you are fundamentally, but more about understanding your innate operating system, right?
Exactly. It's about awareness, not alteration.
And the sources point to Carl Gustav Jung's work here, which makes so much sense. He basically said that these inherent personality types correspond uncannily to the 4 decision colors we just talked about.
They do. The parallels are quite strong. And get this, Jung's work itself was apparently inspired by ancient Hindu thinking, dating back to around 1000 BCE.
Wow, really? So this isn't just modern psychology.
No, it has some deep, deep roots. It taps into some pretty ancient wisdom about human nature.
That's fascinating. How does Jung's model help explain this strength shatter thing?
Well, his model is often visualized as an iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Your dominant trait, your inherent strength, is the part above the water. It's visible, it's active in your daily decision-making.
Okay, the bit everyone sees.
Right. But it's opposite. Your shadow is your weakest function. It's often hidden, submerged, until you're under significant stress.
That's when it pops up.
That's when it can manifest as a vulnerability, yeah. The other 2 functions Jung described serve as supporting traits, helping you navigate the world more broadly.
Okay, so practically speaking, what does this mean for our decision-making? How do these axes work?
Jung described 4 key ways people experience the world and make choices, which he called decision codes: thinking, feeling, sensing, and intuition. He then grouped these into 2 main axes that really drive our decision-making approach.
2 axes. What's the first one?
The first axis contains the judging functions, or what SGL calls the L-axis, for logic-driven. About 6 out of 10 people tend to lean this way.
6 out of 10, okay.
These individuals are structured, logical, and primarily focused on reducing uncertainty. They thrive with planning, clarity, proven methods. They make decisions based on rational assessment or maybe deeply held values.
And which colors fall here?
This axis includes thinking, which aligns strongly with our blue profile analytical, fact-based objective, and feeling, which aligns with our yellow profile emotionally aware, values-driven, focused on people impact.
Okay, so blue and yellow are on the logic L axis. What's the other axis?
The second axis is the perceiving or stimuli functions, the S axis, for change makers. Around 4 out of 10 people are primarily driven by this.
The other 40%.
Right. These individuals are more spontaneous, curious, and intrinsically open to change. They tend to act quickly, adapt fast, they get energized by new ideas, and they inherently prefer flexibility over rigid structure.
And the colors here are?
This axis includes sensing, which corresponds to our red profile, practical, detail-oriented, grounded in current reality, and intuition, which matches our purple profile, imaginative, quick-thinking, future-focused.
Red and purple on the stimuli S axis.
Okay, so the core question for you, the listener, to ponder in this section is, are you primarily driven by logical structure and certainty, which would place you on the L axis? Or are you more energized by stimuli, new experiences, and flexibility, leaning you towards the S axis? Understanding this fundamental axis reveals so much about your innate temperament and how you naturally approach problems.
That's a really powerful distinction. L axis or S axis. Certainty or stimuli. Okay, so we have color, we have axis. What's the final piece?
The final piece is your decision functional role. Now that we've understood your innate leanings through your decision axis, let's look at how that translates into your natural role within a team, especially when facing those tough, high-stakes moments.
Your role in the thick of it.
Exactly. And the framework uses a brilliant visual metaphor to help us understand it.
Which is?
It uses the powerful image of the chessboard. SGL illustrates this with 2 archetypes sitting in a lotus position, reflecting the ancient spiritual roots of chess.
Chess. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a profound visual metaphor for human strategy and relational dynamics that really helps define these roles clearly.
Okay, tell me more about the chess connection. That sounds cool.
Well, this is where the history lesson gets really interesting and actually incredibly relevant. The roots of chess actually stretch deep into antiquity. It evolved from an Indian war game called Chaturanga, dating way back to the Vedic period, maybe 1500–500 BCE.
Chaturanga. Right.
And this early version mirrored not just military structure, but also the Varna system, which was a 4-part division of functional roles in ancient Indian society.
The Varna system, like castes.
Sort of, but more about functional roles. You had the Brahmins, the priests and teachers, then the Kshatriyas, the warriors and rulers,
Right.
then the Vaishyas, merchants, artisans, farmers, and finally the Shudras, servants and laborers. It's truly fascinating how these ancient societal roles echo directly in the archetypal chess pieces we know today.
Wow, okay, I can see that. Like
Yeah.
the bishop is the Brahmin.
Exactly. The spiritual or ideological guide. The rook, that solid tower, is the Kshatriya. The defender, the enforcer of strategy. Makes sense. The agile knight could be the fascia, the builder, the economic driver, and the humble yet vital pawn maps to the Shudra loyal, often underestimated, but absolutely essential to the entire game.
That's a fantastic analogy. So how does this relate back to our decision role?
So when it comes to defining your personal functional role in decision-making, the framework asks you to consider a simple self-test, sort of an internal thought experiment.
Okay, what should I ask myself?
Ask yourself this. Are you primarily drawn to responsibility, moral clarity, achieving results, and upholding core principles that feel important for the world? If that resonates, you're likely a warrior. W.
Like a rook or a knight,
Right.
focused on action and progress.
Exactly. Or are you more inspired by generosity, idealism, and the feeling that doing good for others truly nourishes you?
Mm.
If that's more your vibe, then you're likely a helper, H, like a bishop or a pawn, focused on support, wisdom, and collective well-being.
Warrior or helper. Okay, that's pretty clear.
It provides a really useful lens for understanding your primary motivation in group dynamics.
And now, how does SGL bring it all together? The color, the axis, the role, linking back to the chess pieces.
Right. This is where it integrates into a complete leadership profile, using those chess pieces as handy archetypes.
Let's hear them.
Okay, the rook, or rock, embodies the rational blue warrior. They operate on the thinking TF axis, L axis, and their focus is fundamentally on risk securing, identifying, and mitigating threats.
Blue warrior, rook, risk securing. Got it.
Then, the knight represents the innovative purple warrior. They're on the intuition SI axis,
Yeah.
S axis, characterized by being risk-willing. They see new opportunities and are ready to act boldly.
Purple warrior, knight is risk willing.
Okay? Next, the bishop is seen as the wise red helper. They are on the sensing S axis, embodying risk strength. They're practical, grounded, and focused on building robust foundations and connections.
Red helper, bishop, risk strength.
Right. And finally, the pawn is the loyal yellow helper. They function on the feeling TF axis, L axis, and they're driven by risk consensus, prioritizing harmony, shared understanding, and collective agreement.
Yellow helper pawn equals risk consensus. Wow, that ties it all together nicely.
It really does. And this integration powerfully reinforces a critical idea from Knut Birkeland, who helped develop this framework back at Norsk Hydro. In a winning team, all colors are necessary.
Absolutely.
This diversity of decision styles and functional roles isn't just, nice to have. It's absolutely crucial for effective alignment of roles within any group striving for success.
It shows that true strength comes from that balanced team, not a team of clones like they almost ended up with.
Precisely. It validates every role, every color, every approach as valuable in the right context.
What an incredible journey we've just taken. We've gone from understanding that intense pressure of a cognitive leap through the fascinating origin story of the decision tree in the North Sea to uncovering your unique decision color, understanding the underlying drivers in your strength shadow axis.
Yeah, the L or S axis.
And finally, identifying your natural functional role as either a warrior or a helper on that metaphorical chessboard.
The profound power of knowing your decision profile, and crucially, understanding the profiles of others on your team, really cannot be overstated.
How so?
Well, it can truly help you lead more effectively, collaborate with so much less friction, and ultimately make smarter, more informed decisions, especially when the stakes are at their highest. It helps turn potential conflict into complementary strength.
Yeah, seeing differences as strengths, not problems.
Exactly.
This really brings us back to something Søren Kierkegaard, the philosopher, touched on. He said something like, decision-making is never just a rational act. It's a leap into the unknown.
The leap of faith.
Right. He called it diving into 70,000 fathoms deep. That final moment where maybe logic ends and pure choice begins often feels like a gut instinct, doesn't it?
It really does.
Shaped not just by careful reasoning, but by who we fundamentally are.
So true. And as you, the listener, reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this provocative thought, how much do you truly allow your innate temperament, your color, your axis, your role to empower your next big decision?
Instead of fighting it.
Instead of fighting against it, or feeling like you need to conform to some single ideal way of deciding, understanding your natural leanings isn't a weakness. It's a profound, unique strength, just waiting to be leveraged.